Alright, we're on lesson 4.4, evaluating logarithms. So a logarithm of y with base b is defined below in bold. So log base b of y equals x. And what that means is b to the power of x equals y. So we use this when we don't know exactly what the power would be. So in this case we do know the power. 2 to the power of 3 equals 8. 4 to the power of 0 equals 1. 12 to the power of 1 equals 12. 1/4 to the power of negative 1 equals 4. Remember, negative flips it. For E, 3 to the power of 4 equals 81. 7 to the power of 1 equals 7. 14 to the power of 0 equals 1. And 1/2 to the power of negative 5 equals 32. Alright, so the logarithm is giving us that exponent number. And we are just switching forms in that first problem. For number 2, we're evaluating these. So 4 to the power of what equals 64? And this would be 4 times 4 times 4. So that would give us 3. So there's obviously no x in letter A, but that's what the log means, is 4 to the power of what is 64. So 5 to the power of what is 1/5, and that's negative 1. 1/5 to the power of negative 3 is 125. And then 36 to the power of 1/2 equals 6. If you remember these 1/2s, the fractions as exponents, then these are the ones that give us roots. Alright, a common logarithm is a logarithm with base 10. It's denoted by log base 10 or just by log. Log base e is called a natural logarithm, and that is ln. So that means natural log. Those are both buttons on your calculator, and they are next to the number 7 and the number 4. Alright, so let's work with those. Number 1. We have this formula for wind speed for tornadoes, and we're trying to figure out what the wind speed was for the 220 miles that this tornado went through. So I'm going to plug 93 log of 220 plus 65 into my calculator. Make sure you close the parentheses after the 220. Because the 65 is not included in the log, just the 220. So you should get 282.85 miles per hour. All right, for number 2, we're evaluating these logarithms. So the first one, 2 to the power of 5 gives you 32. 27 to the power of 1/3, so the third root of 27 is 3. C and D, you use your calculator, so plug in log of 12, 1.08, and then natural log of 0.75, which will give us a negative 0.29. Right, now we're moving on to inverses. So by the definition of a logarithm, it follows that the logarithmic function is the inverse of the exponential function. Alright, so this first one, letter A, we're simplifying, and I have 10 to the log of 4, which is the same as log base 10 of 4. Alright, and if you remember, log base 10 of 4 is giving me the exponent. So 10 to what power gives me 4? And so that is actually the power, the exponent. So this one equals 4 because it's 10 to that power equals 4. I hope that makes sense. Just know when the base and the main number are the same, then you just end up with that last number, the 4. Alright, this next one, I rewrote 25 as 5 squared. And I know 5 to the power of what equals 5 squared, and that would be 2, and then I have that x hanging out, so it's going to be 2x. Alright, this next one, I have the same base, so it's just x. So So 8 to the log base 8 of x is x. Now 7 to the negative 3x is going to give me 7 to the negative 3x. And then the next one, e to the log base e of 20 is just going to be 20. Alright, find the inverse of the function. If you remember when we did inverses, what we did was we switched x and y and then solved for our new y. Well, we are going to do the exact same thing here. So x equals 6 to the power of y, and we're going to change this, since I know that the inverse is a logarithm. Log base 6 of x equals y, because 6 to the power of y equals x. So those expressions are exactly the same. Right? The x equals 6 to the power of y, and the log base 6 of x equals y, exactly the same expression. So that is how I leave it. Alright, I'm going out of order, and I'm going to do letter C. So x equals 4 to the power of y, and I'm going to take the log, so log base 4 of x equals y. And remember, it can also go the other way. So if you were given log base 4 of x equals y, or log base 4 of y equals x, you would do the exponent to get it in another form where it's in y equals. Alright, for this one again, switch your x and your y. Remember, a natural log has a base of e. So e to the power of x equals y plus 3. To get y by itself, I subtract 3 from both sides. And then I'm done. E to the x minus 3 equals y. Alright, letter D is very similar. Switch x and y. Then write it as e to the power of x equals y minus 5. Add 5 to both sides, and y equals e to the x plus 5. Quick and easy, hopefully. Let me know if you have questions.